Pia hapa wangwana wengine wakisema serikali ikifanya mambo mzuri pia tuseme. Hiyo ni uongo mtupu. Serikali ikifanya mambo mzuri watu wataona. Sisi tutasema ile baya wamefanya. Kweli. Serikali yenyewe tie bidii ifanye mambo gani?
Nzuri.
Sasa unaweza simama uanze kusema ati barabara imejengwa. Si watu wataona. Kwani wamepitia wapi wakikuja? Kama barabara imejengwa, the Kenyan people are wise enough to know what has been done and what has not been done. Mambo ni namna hiyo wangwana. Tukiendelea hapo, nimesikia watu wakisema Muturi anafaa kufutwa kazi. I want to tell you that Justin Muturi is not a greenhorn in politics. Justin Muturi gave Kasongo and his cabal of thieves and a clean check. He expects to be either fired or impeached. It is something he knows it will happen. And let me tell you, wakati muna impeach Justin Muturi, you are giving him the much needed sympathy in Mount Kenya East. He will go and he will be welcomed by his own people. If he teams up with Rigathi Gachagua, the whole mountain shall be blocked from access from the government people led by Kaongo. Sasa hii maneno amepanga. Hii maneno tumepanga na tunasema Ruto must go and indeed he shall go. Tukiendelea hapo hapo. Nimesikia watu wakisema the people who supported this government are the ones crying the loudest. I want to tell you that there is a point of awakening in life. There are people who went to school and decided to do a certain course. In 2 or 3 years they realized this course is not taking me anywhere. They had to change their mind and do another course. Do you castigate them and say that you chose this course, you must finish it? No. Some of people have married people and in the middle of life they realize this is not the right person for me. They had to go back to the streets and look for another person. It is the same way the people who voted for William Ruto, who had expectations, and they are very right by changing mind and looking the other way. Watu ambao walipigia William Ruto na hawajanufaika na upresidency yao, mbona wewe unalalamika wakati wanatafuta kwingine? Wanasemekana eti huyu William Ruto aliletwa na bishops. These bishops are very right. The people who voted for William Ruto are not our enemies. They were exercising their democratic right the way I exercised mine by voting for Raila Amolo Odinga. And the problem is not with them. The problem is the person they voted in who has considerably incapable hands to do anything. Na nataka nimalize kwa kusema, if you are not here and you still have some iota of optimism that William Ruto will still miraculously do more than he has already done, then you are living in a world that does not exist. Well, in 20 seconds. Sahi hata William Ruto mwenyewe anashangaa akiona unamsupport. Anashangaa The president has done everything he is able to do. And actually I am not surprised by anything that is happening in the country right now. There is nothing the president has done that is out of his character. Yes. Everything that is happening, he's only being himself. So you people went and voted for somebody who had been tried for crimes against humanity in the biggest court in the world. Mbona mnashangaa abductions zikifanyika? Mnashangaa kwa nini? Na ule mtu mlipigia kura ni mtu wa kujipanga polepole, anasema mkimweka kwa an imaginary coffin atawaweka kwa real coffin.
I also know idiots when I see them. You can imagine the combination of both of them, the disaster it is. If you are a leader and an idiot, it's a disaster, absolute disaster. It is even worse, even more dangerous, if the very people who hold the power in their hands decide that they will be manipulated and played around for some interest by idiots.
Ni kitu ngumu sana kusema kwamba mtu ambaye ameshtakiwa na maovu kuhusu binadamu anaweza kupatiwa kiti hicho cha kusimamia binadamu. Mimi sijasikia jambo kama hilo.
Hayo ni maoni yake ambayo kikatiba ako na uhuru wa kuwa na maoni kama hayo. Kuna wengi, mimi nikiwemo, ambao niko na maoni tofauti.
Whichever way, my campaign is not built around the ICC. My campaign is built around an agenda which I have and a vision which I have for the country called Kenya.
I consider it the height of impunity to appear to be taking a court of law for granted and to be chest thumping and saying irregardless.
Okay, so on 27th of April 2013, Mutula Kilonzo, who was the senator for Machakos, was found dead by his workers at 11 in the morning. Okay, this was no ordinary death. Mutula was assassinated by Muigai and Jambazi. Okay, the reason for this is because of the ICC case, because Mutula had threatened to expose both Jambazi and Muigai's role in the 2007-2008 post-election violence. Okay, so immediately Muigai was declared the winner on 9th of March 2013 after rigging the elections. His first order of business was obviously to eliminate anyone who looked or seemed like to be a threat. Okay, so he literally 2 months didn't even pass after him being sworn in that Mutula was found dead on his bed. Okay, he was frothing from the mouth. He looked like he had been puking in his ensuite bathroom. So something was definitely amiss. Okay, his son Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who is a big coward and a big cocksucker, had actually mentioned that his father was in tip-top condition or in tip-top shape. He wasn't sick. He didn't have any issues health-wise. Okay, because when the post-mortem was done, it was discovered that he had heavy internal hemorrhaging in his chest and in his cranial. He had heavy bleeding internally, okay, in his chest and in his head. Okay, and this is someone who doesn't have any history of any health complications. Okay, was a very healthy man. Okay, so Kindiki, who was the majority leader at the time, had said that quote, let me quote his words, that Kilonzo had cut a solitary and almost sorrowful demeanor in the house. Okay, that's the Senate. Okay, and Johnston Muthama, who was a senator for Machakos, also expressed that Mutula Kilonzo had feared for his life. Okay, during this time Raila was also present, and I think another senator was also present, I think from around the Ukambani area. Okay, so listen to this, it gets a bit more interesting. On the day he died, or on the day he was found dead in his bed, an unknown visitor had come to his house early in the morning. Okay, and they had had tete-a-tete, or they chatted for about 30 minutes poolside. Okay, at Mutula's home. They had chatted for around 30 minutes, let's say around 6-7 a.m. in the morning, and then he basically just went back to bed, maybe started feeling funny and all of that. So he went back to bed, never woke up after the visit from an unknown individual. Okay, it's widely known that Muigai and Jambazi killed him. Mutula Kilonzo came out to say, oh, he hasn't been killed, or they are not sure. He's always 50-50 about it, never wanting to really state that Muigai and Jambazi killed his father, okay? Because even later on, this is around 2020, he started to say, oh, the postmortem was really handled very badly, there was a lot of external interference, instead of just coming out and saying Muigai and Jambazi killed my father because he threatened to expose them, okay? It was a really sad time for Kenya, and this is, it just added to a long list of political assassinations that have been carried out in this country. Okay, so when we tell you that these are enemies of the people, you need to understand. And if they can go as far as killing Mutula Kilonzo, they do it with anyone and with anybody. Okay, and it's why I've been saying occupying these people's properties would go a very long way in this fight for liberation, because they are on their way out. And even after we get rid of this regime, first order of business is reparations for all that stolen wealth. Okay?
One day, and probably very soon, this country will come to terms that a man of the caliber of President Kibaki comes only once in a lifetime.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. For 2 years, we have sung that song, that Ruto must go. Why is Ruto going? Is Ruto going because he's a Kalenjin? Yes? No. Is Ruto going because he comes from Rift Valley? No. Why is Ruto must go? Or why is Ruto going? Ruto is going because of one thing. Ruto is going because of incompetence. And this incompetence has affected us economically. Economically, mark that word, economically. But if Ruto will go so that we can replace him with other tribal chiefs, my friend, he problem haitaisha Kenya. I'm telling you. And that's the problem I'm seeing. That's the danger I'm seeing. That we are sliding back to nonsense. You see, I asked a friend from Muranga, if today I take you nikutoe Muranga, nikupeleke Uasin Gishu, do you think your life will be better just because you have gone to the village that Ruto comes from? It will not. But there is this narrative that imewekwa that Ruto is targeting Kikuyus. My friend, Ruto is targeting the entire country. And it's not he's targeting. He's not willingly targeting. The guy is just incapable of doing it. Mtu kusikuja kusema mimi nikiingia mimi nita protect Mount Kenya community. That is nonsense. We don't want to be protected as a community. We want the entire country economy to grow. You see, people are saying that Kalenjin leadership is the problem. We had Kikuyu's presidency before, but it's only one Kikuyu presidency who is being remembered by all other communities. A person called Kibaki. He can be called the father of modern Kenya. He revolutionized this country in 10 years. Akaacha tu deni ya 1.9 trillion with everything he did, mabarabara, free primary education. Akaacha deni tu ya 1.9. Kibaki. Every tribe can say that this is what Kibaki did. The infrastructure we are seeing, it is the vision that Kibaki had, the vision 2030. Are you together? Who is suffering now because their community is not united? Anyamakema people or Kamkunji people suffering, closing their shop because Murima is not united. Because Murima doesn't have Itungatis. You know, this nonsense is becoming now too much. Is that the reason why you people are closing shops? Is that the reason why chakula ya ngombe na chakula ya nguruwe ya mafama zimekuwa expensive? Just because we are not united. We don't have Itungatis or something like that. You know the reason I'm saying this thing is because if you go to the Luo Nyanza today, they think if they become united, they can produce a deputy president or a president. To do what? Are we saying Ruto must go so that we can replace him with just anybody? With just anybody. Then we must be the biggest fools that Ruto must go so that we can replace him with just anybody. The person you think that will replace Ruto, if given this country, if not for his tribe, if given this country, can he change the economy? The economy. Because that is what matters. My friend, exam ya form 4 ilitoka this week. I saw people congratulating those kids when walifanya vizuri, walipata A+, wanapigiwa makofi, congratulations. Even my own nephew got an A. But the question in my mind was, after 4 years in university, then what? Where will they go? Because you have been in the universities. We are out here. We know how things are. You know people, comrades, who got an A, did very good grades. Wanakuomba dhao moja tu ya kukula. Hata kulipa nyumba walishindwa. Wengine wameingia depression. Right now, World Health Organization is classifying Kenya as the 6th country yenye imekuwa hit by depression because of the economy, not because of tribe, not because ati kuna region hawajashikana vizuri, my friend. If we go to 2027 with tribal arithmetics, that if Kikuyu support this tribe, they will take the government. To do what with that regime? To do what, my friend? We have agreed Ruto must go. The next question is, are we ready to pay the price that if he goes, we can have that one person who can change this country, even if they don't come from a bigger tribe, or they come from a bigger tribe, they have ruled before, they have not ruled before. We just look at that one person. Muangalie kwa kichwa zenyu kama kuna huyo mtu mmoja tu mwenye anaweza badilisha this country. And not through tribal arithmetics. But huyo at least mnaweza sema huyu tumeangalia anaweza badilisha this country. Because my friend, what is going to hit this country? My friend, hata nyinyi mtashangaa. The economy of this country is going to collapse in front of your own eyes. Next year tunalipa deni ya 2.4 trillion next year. Na hii deni tunalipa until 2036. So if nothing is going to be done, my friend, na hiyo bado hiyo miaka tutakuwa tumechukua deni nyingine. So we are in this the rest of our lives. If we cannot have that one person who will change this country, my friend, this country we are done and dusted. And if you think I'm joking, my friend, wengine wanasema Ruto anataka kumaliza mashule. Yes, Ruto anataka kumaliza mashule because he is incapable. Just know even some ministries, they are struggling to procure a tissue paper so that you can know the ile shimo hii Kenya iko. So ndio mkianza kusema you want to be united to do what? Are we suffering because we are not united? Economy.
What does the Kenyan president know that maybe we don't know? Here's the Kenyan president on the US dollar.
I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks.
Now, normally, I don't go to the Kenyan president for my economic advice. What he said here was, for those of you who are holding dollars, US dollars, you shortly might go into losses. So you better do what you must do, because this market will be different in a couple of weeks. Now, he said that last week, which would mean that this week or the next week, if he knows something we don't know, we might have a problem. It's just Kenya. What do they know?
Ambia wapunguze mihemko ili wageni wasiende zao. Kwa hivyo hebu sikilizeni linavyokwenda. Kuna mambo yamezuka ya mashirika kufungwa. Kampuni za toroka kwa hisi wamechengwa. Kwa kodi wamesumbuka, kwa madeni wametingwa. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Ushuru umewashinda, wengi wao wanahama. Kenya imewabibinda, imewafika na kama. Wanahamia Uganda, Kenya inawazogoma. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Wanabiashara wetu wamelia, wamechoka. Wanasumbuka wenzetu kukicha walalamika. Ziwapi haki za watu, waache kuhangaika. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Ni vigumu kuendesha biashara hapa Kenya. Watu watakuzungusha na huku wanakuminya. wakiona umeisha waanze kukumeng'enya. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Vigogo serikalini, lindeni wawekezaji, msiwatandike chini kuwarambia mtaji. Kuna visa vya uhuni vitokavyo kwa wenyeji. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Jamaa wanakimbia, wanakwepa uporaji, wanaenda Tanzania, Rwanda na Msumbiji. Huko wanapasifia, kuna wanyang'anyaji. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie. Punguzeni mihemko, wageni wasikimbie.
And we are not alone. There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Any member of parliament who is going to vote yes to this bill, they are going to be chased out of their constituents. A generation has woken up, and we are saying, in fact, Alexander Wendt, the German-American educated, once opined that anarchy is what the states make of it. The government of Kenya is using finance bill to create anarchy, and anarchy is going to receive. We have Gen Z have woken up. This is a new generation. Generations have come and passed and fought for various issues that have bedeviled this country. Now a new generation for economic emancipation has woken up, for freedom of speech has woken up. Gen Zs are lethal, they are vicious, they are educated, they are charismatic, they are innovative, they are techno-savvy. They are going to shut down Ruto's government.
Be done is when the members of parliament report to parliament next week. The Gen Z needs to force those members to impeach the president. And any member of parliament who will not vote for impeachment of the president, they occupy their homes. That's the only way. This war must now turn to the members of parliament, and they force them. If I bring a vote of no confidence against the President William Ruto, I expect 349 members of parliament to support me. If they don't support me, then their homes are occupied. They need to force members of parliament to impeach the president. That's what we need to do. We don't need to put Gen Zs on the streets to be killed. When we have a national assembly to do what Gen Z are supposed to do, the Gen Zs have given us a platform. Now what is remaining is for members of parliament to do the rest. Let us not put our children on the streets to be killed when we have members of parliament who have the responsibility to impeach the president.
No one is going to tell me what to do at one time. I'm in charge. So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And if they need a right, you can't say because there is a rule here. We work according to the rule.
I'm inside. Niko ndani. Na tunamalizana na nyinyi. Tunamalizana na nyinyi. Mmetutesa sana. Today is today. You must hear our cry. Sisi ni sisi. Mtatusikiza. Hii ni bunge yetu. Sisi tumewafanya mko hapa. This is our parliament. You must hear us. Kama hamna masikio, tutawafanya msikie. Poa manze.
President, tunataka kuambia uko na miaka 2 katika ofisi. Na wananchi hawa they will punish you, na hata ukiwa na pesa watakutoa nje.
Idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work in and of themselves. Then they are tribalists. And these tribalists, they think that they are only safe with people who are from their tribe. And tribe can mean people from the same culture, same language, or same culture. Then they are citizens. These are individuals who are responsible and know that when you want to be served, you must give those who have the desire and the intellectual capacity to serve you. In many societies, It is only a small percentage of people that can be called citizens, not more than 5%. And if a society wants to grow in the right direction, civic education is what will help the idiot and the tribalist to become a citizen.
Wacheni tu mimi niseme na mapema. Ndio kama kuna list na andiko mniweke kwa list. I can't wait to reject Finance Bill 2025. I can't wait because I know it will be something absurd. It will be something mental. I can't wait. Mniweke kwa list jameni. List ya reject.
Majenzi mko? Kazi mnafanya kwa mtandao ni mzuri sana. Na tunapongeza nyinyi. Na muendelee. Mtaendelea. Lakini mtandao peke yake haitoshi. Tunataka mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Wale watu ambaye watakomboa Kenya hii, wenye kuamua Kenya itaongozwa namna gani, ni hao majenzi wetu mwaka wa 2027. Lakini hamwezi amua Kenya itakaa namna gani kwa simu peke yake. Lazima mchukue vitambulisho, lazima mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Siku hiyo ikifika muamuke saa 9, muungane na sisi na wengine, tuende pale kwa debe, tutafute uongozi wa maana ambaye utaheshimu wa Kenya, utaheshimu demokrasia na utakubali kufanyia kila mtu maendeleo. Tumekubaliana majenzi?
Now, why do you want Ruto gone?
We want Ruto gone because he is killing innocent people. He's wanting to pass the Finance Bill 2024. He's putting tax on sanitary products that girls can't even buy. He's can't go to school. He's corrupt. He's taking the money. He needs to go.
Yes.
Get out. If you're going to raise anything, start with your hairline.
Nice.
Control, Alt, Delete, Ruto. The drunk did better than you. Drunk did better than you.
Nice.
Mungu yetu itoe Ruto Kenya, hata kama angalau na jali. Sisi Kenya tumechoka na Ruto, maisha imekaribikia, analipisha mpaka sodo ya wamama. Pure kabisa Ruto. We don't like you, go home. Sasa tafuta kiongozi ambaye anapenda mwananchi na anapenda kijana kama.
They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Now the next election, yes. Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation, yes, they use their might because they didn't vote. The largest vote in the last election.
You like me, why them a fight me. You like me, chewing a bomb, bite it. You like me, chewing a bite it. Don't like power and you. When I trust them, even if we push them. When I trust them, you find not touch them. When I trust them, what am I not them? In farm, I'm missing ya.